You've got people that have hijacked some properties there. They are claiming to own those properties. They are consuming services of government for free. They are not paying for anything, but yet they are charging rent. So the reality is that the land is privately owned. They shouldn't be residing there.
When you figure after 50 years, you don't tell them
Angithi sajela nguza la.
Wena lenkantolo nifane nimbadale.
Sikubhadale.
Yes. Money keeper la. Nifane niphume nidinge indawo. Nithengele indawo. Niyakhele indlu ngizohlala nefamily yami. And then money niketile ukwakha indlu nifake amanzi electricity. No, dalala ngikethe ukuqala.
Yebo mfethu asibophe nomuntu.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a story that's got South Africans fuming, the brazen entitlements and outright criminality unfolding at the Ginger Park informal settlement in Polshof, north of Johannesburg. If you thought land hijacking couldn't get any more ridiculous, wait until you hear about this story. A 60-year-old man demanding 50,000 rand per family member from the city just to pack up and leave. Yes, you heard that right. Let's break it down, report the facts, and react to this absolute nonsense. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Let's get into it.
Ngikhuliswe khona lapha ngisebenzile khona lapha lalela ngisebenzile khona lapha namanye ngithathe khona lapha wena ufika after 50 years uzontshela ukuthi
inkantolo mina la angithi sajela nguza la
wena lenkantolo nifane nimbadale
sikubhadale
yes
no into efuna sizobopha lo
and nifane lalela
wena uphila ngajele that's why you belong
yona le jele ngiyayifuna lalela ngutshele ngiyankolota
uphila ngajele
yes ngiyankolota ngipilo jele
are you paying for the services
yona le jele yankolota nawe uyankolota nifane money keeper la nifane niphume nidinge indawo nithengele indawo niyakhele indlu ngizohlala nefamily yami and then money niketile ukwakha indlu nifake amanzi electricity no dalala ngikethe ukuqala la ngizokuphathanisa ufake electricity ufake amanzi and then nabantu abahlala njengomuntu and then from there every person belongs to me. Umupatale 50,000. Then stop. Simple. It's simple.
Iyaphinda sokunikeza yona. Iyiwani nje sokunikeza yona. Isele Sun City. That's the only house that going to
Sun City indawo yamuntu noma ubani. Namanje now
that's the only house we're going to give to you because you hijack the property. You invited people. You are consuming services for free.
Mabakhetha batshela manga lo muntu atshotshile abamithami kusho ukuthi uthungwe yini yena ngizomphatha la khona la yes masambe nginibonisa
So the reality is that the land is privately owned. They shouldn't be residing there. But second to that, there are environmental constraints on that land. So it's not the land that is habitable. So it's not the land that is suitable for human settlement. So people should not be residing in that particular property. But over and above that, there are quite a number of dynamics. So you've got different owners, in that small precinct. So you've got properties that are owned by the province. You've got properties that are privately owned, and some of the shacks they've overlapped to another property with a different owner. You've got people that have hijacked some properties there. They are claiming to own those properties which they inherit from the previous owners. So it's something that we are going to deal with. we are reverting back to our offices. We are going to formulate charges against those that have hijacked, because they had confessed to us, and we've got some of the recordings where they were making that confession, saying that they are owning those properties and they are the landlords. So we need to deal with that, because people are staying there, they are paying to them, they are consuming services of government for free, they are not paying for anything, but yet they are charging rent to certain occupiers. So it's something that we are going to deal with, because we went for a legal opinion, and the law is very clear that we can charge people who have hijacked properties, who are charging people rent on properties that they do not own. So it's something that we are going to deal with. But there are environmental issues there. The land is privately owned. The court has compelled us to move those people out. The landlord got an eviction order, so we need to comply.
Is that there is a guy who claims to own that place, considering that the owner of the property took the matter to court, and the city was then compelled to provide an alternative accommodation for those residents during the execution of the eviction order. And we are given up until the end of February next year to eradicate that particular informal settlement. To our surprise, when we got there, there is a man who claims to own that area. He's citing that he got papers which proves him as the owner, and he wants us to compensate him, his family, and his tenants before the relocation. And it's something that we do not understand. We're a bit confused by that, because it's something that we did not expect when we went there. And it's something that we are going to deal with, because, we want to deal with these, assertions now from the hijackers to think that, they are owning, the city of Johannesburg. And also that, they can do as they please. They will resist, relocations and evictions, even when we are compelled by the court.
Are these people all South Africans? I think is a key question mark to also put out. And if they are, which part of the country perhaps they come from to settle here, or were they from other parts of Gauteng to then settle in this place predominantly? Are you aware of any of that as you did your audit? What was your assessment on that front?
Well, 143 are South Africans, and the rest we can't really say, because they had refused to participate. Well, we do have undocumented foreign nationals that participated in the process, but majority we can't tell you, because they are refusing to participate. And we are suspecting that the reason they did not participate is because they belong to certain individuals within the informal settlements, because even the guy that we were in confrontation with yesterday, he was claiming to be a South African, and we had asked for his documentation. Unfortunately, Home Affairs was not with us yesterday, because we did not anticipate that we'll be confronted with that particular situation yesterday. But we took certain documents from him. We are going to verify them with Home Affairs today, and there are other documents as well that we are also verifying about the ownership of that particular properties, because there are certain properties there that are just outside the portion which is privately owned. And when we check on our system, those particular properties belongs to the provincial government, but there are certain people with certain documents which we need to verify, so that we are able to open the case, because we are referring that matter to the police and also to the lawyers of the municipality, because we need to arrest that man, for charging people rent for all these years, for consuming services for free, in pretense that he's a landlord, but also, for interrupting the work that we are doing, because this is a court process that we are engaging on. So anyone who stands in the way of that, legally we need to find ways of dealing with that particular person. So we are in that process.
Sure.
We'll be commencing those processes today of verifying certain document, but also on verifying his identification, because we feel that the identification that he had produced yesterday are fraudulent, and we need to verify them against Home Affairs.
So first off, the facts. On December 28, 2025, that's just yesterday, Johannesburg's MMC for Human Settlements, Mlungisi Mabaso, led an oversight visit to Ginger Park. This isn't some cozy neighborhood. It's an illegal occupation on private and provincial land, home to over 400 people living in makeshift shacks with no proper water, toilets, or roads. Crime is spiking, services are being stolen, and the Johannesburg High Court has ordered the city to evict and relocate everyone by February 2026. Sounds straightforward, right? Wrong. During the visit, Mabaso's team ran into resistance. Out of 432 residents, only 231 participated in the city's profiling process. That's the audit to figure out who qualifies for alternative housing. Of those who did cooperate, 143 are confirmed South Africans, and a handful admitted to being undocumented foreigners. But 201 flat out refused to participate. Why? Mabaso says he suspects that many of them are illegal immigrants dodging scrutiny or tied to real crooks, the hijackers posing as landlords. Now here's where it gets outrageous. Enter Tapelo Mokoboya, a 60-year-old resident who claims he's owned a building there for 40 years, inherited from his former employer. He confronted Mabaso directly, demanding the city pay him and each of his family members 50,000 rand in compensation, plus relocates them to a proper house with electricity and running water. Excuse me, this man has allegedly been charging rent to tenants while illegally tapping into free government services like water and electricity from nearby properties. He's not a victim, he's a profiteer. Mabaso called it confusing and unexpected, but let's be honest, it's criminal. The city seized his documents on the spot, suspecting they're fraudulent, and they're currently verifying them with Home Affairs. If they're fake, this guy could be an undocumented foreigner himself, adding fraud to his list of offenses. The MMC made it clear, criminal charges are coming for anyone acting as these fake landlords. They're interrupting a court-ordered process, and that's not just bold, it's illegal. Now, let's react to this rubbish. What kind of entitlement is this? A hijacker demanding taxpayer money to vacate land he doesn't own. It's complete madness. These criminals invade properties, build shacks, steal services, and then act like they owed something when the law finally catches up. And if many are illegal foreigners, as Mabaso suspects from the refusal to profile, it's even worse. They come here, break our laws, exploit our systems, and then turn around and demand compensation. No way. This is the height of lawlessness, and it's draining resources from law-abiding South Africans who actually need help. Don't get me wrong, housing is a massive crisis in Joburg. Urban migration, poverty, it's all real, but the law is the law. The city's policy is crystal clear. Alternative accommodation is only for qualifying South African citizens, those earning under 3,500 Rand a month with no prior government housing and facing genuine homelessness. Foreign nationals, Home Affairs handles them under the Immigration Act, processing, detention if needed, and deportation for the undocumented. No free rides. This isn't isolated. Look at the broader pattern. Informal settlements like Ginger Park fuel crime, illegal dumping, and cable theft, as seen in Fourway's reports from earlier this year. And while some residents might be desperate South Africans, the hijackers, citizen or not, are the real villains profiting off this nonsense. Mabaso's crackdown is spot on. Target the profiteers, enforce the court order, and work with Home Affairs to root out the illegal foreigners. We take no prisoners when it comes to protecting our country from this nonsense. I urge you to support leaders like Mlungisi Mabaso who are fighting back. And if you've got similar stories from your area, drop them in the comment section. Watch the video on your left to see over 100 illegal foreigners caught being smuggled in a bus. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Until next time.